welcome Renee here today with Radical UX 2.0.
I'm back. While we're getting set up here, in case you missed it, I was that person on the right-hand side with the head wrap. Looked like I was singing. I was like, that picture looks like I was, I cannot sing, but it definitely looks like I was hitting a high note. But it definitely captured the energy from 2022, and I am hoping that same energy, which I'm feeling already, will be present here in 2025 as we talk about Radical UX 2.0. I'm good? I'm straight? Excellent. Thank you so much. What a joy it is to be here, uxcon Vienna, for year 5. Happy anniversary, happy birthday, however you celebrate. So once again, give yourselves a huge round of applause for just being here. Year 5. Welcome all the new faces. Listen, it is 4 o'clock in the morning in California. Where my American California, am I the only one from California here? Okay. Yes, so I am literally mustering up a lot of energy right now, so bear with me as we push through here. So thank you for reciprocating the energy that I need this morning. All right, so Radical UX, as Miriam mentioned, 3 years ago, I talked about the importance of pushing the industry, pushing our craft, and like she mentioned, things have changed rapidly over the last 3 years, and so making this a 2.0 talk about how we need to continue to push it, especially in the space of AI and the landscape that we're in. Let me get my clicker. It's always good to sing through things. It makes it a lot easier. Okay, so let me ground us in what I'm talking about when I say radical. So just to make sure you understand how I'm using this word, this phrase. So for those of us that were born back in the days, in the 1900s, we can say that now. We can literally say the 1900s. So the term radical was used in fun ways to mean different things. You would say rad, or I think the Californians, I'm from New York, but the Californians at times would say radical dude and all that. So radical meant a lot of different things. But for today's message and for today's talk, I want to talk about radical meaning ways to push new, different, having great effect on the spaces that we are in. So I'm the person who comes into a room, who asks the hard questions. They call me the table flipper. Sometimes I don't physically flip a table, but I'm the one who's going to shake it up a little bit and really make sure that we are thinking differently, that we are pushing ourselves, that we're not just staying stagnant and staying the same. And this is what's going to become even more important in these days that we are in today. So again, going back to this 3 trifecta, these 3 spaces that really intersect within the UX industry. So art, the art of UX, the science of UX, and of course, the business. A lot of times we don't like to talk about the business of UX, but UX has big parts in playing in the business. I know there's a talk later about measuring the impact of UX. This is going to become even more critical in the AI space. So when we talk about the art of UX, thank you for my timer, I want to talk about the craft, how the craft is shaping, how the craft is evolving in this new landscapes that we're in. So this AI space, and I'm not going to beat you over the head. I know there's a lot of AI fatigue going on. We hear it from our members and customers when we're doing research. They're like, AI. I mean, it's the reality that we are in, but I just want to make sure that we're grounding ourselves and understanding that it is here, and it's important that we understand how to navigate it more effectively. So what is happening in our craft today, in the UX industry, in the UX domain, is a lot of these tools, as we know, are allowing us to have even bigger freedom for creatives and bigger freedom to explore ideas from end to end. The researcher now, when they finish their report, doesn't need to just wrap it up, putting it on the shelf, and start a new project. The researcher now can take those recommendations, take those ideas, and actually say, you know what? I know the designer is working on the thing that needs to be built, but I can actually take this a step further. I can actually envision what I am trying to recommend to my partners. We are trying to make sure that we are equipping our researchers with the skills and tools to understand that the craft is evolving. It's important, of course, to have the domain knowledge, the rigor of research, the rigor of design principles, but it's also imperative to understand that the craft is evolving. So now is the time to do those radical things, do those radical ideas that you may have been hesitant to do before because that's not my job title. That's someone else. And I'm not telling you to go do everyone else's work. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying for you to go take on more responsibility. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, in this discipline of creativity, of curiosity, we can push even further. We can take our ideas and concepts and recommendations even further. So these AI tools are freeing us up even more to explore in spaces that we may have not done before. Practitioners now can, again, explore and navigate the process to end. I'm working with a couple of researcher leaders about how do we reimagine the good old double diamond. This thing has been a staple of our community for so long, but with where we are now, this has got to probably shake up a little bit. Again, there's fundamentals that are going to be the same here, the ability to discover, explore, but who now is taking this from end to end? The handoffs that we used to do now become bigger collaboration efforts. Now people are able to say, you know what, let me see what you're building over there. Can I try this out too? Can I actually take the opportunity to get to this development stage with you and carry it with you? Insights, designs, coding, everything is starting to come together. And as Kathy mentioned, we have the power to take what we need and create what we want. And it's important for us to define what that looks like for our industry, for our craft. So again, practitioners, this is no longer staying in your lane and just coloring outside the boxes. It's now literally building those things and imagining what you want to see in your products, in your experience, and taking it even further. So again, this double diamond has been the staple of the community, of our design community and our UX community, of how things are built. But now people can actually see, imagine, and create along this process and not just stay in these boxes anymore. So ask yourself, as a leader, as an individual contributor, as a UXer, maybe a non-UXer, how am I empowering myself or others to have agency, to explore, create, and build? It's no longer one or the other. It's literally how are we thinking about doing all the things? And that may seem like a lot, like, I don't want to do all the things. I'm tired of doing all the things. But at least having the vision or the outlook to understand, oh, that could be possible. There's more opportunities to ask what if, and also put those questions into practice. What would that look like? How could we develop this thing? How would this experience actually function if we did these things? Practitioners no longer have to wait. We can really embrace the tools to bring a lot of these ideas, thoughts, these what-ifs to life. It is essential as a leader for my team to understand that they have the space, they have the agency to take on these ideas if they want to. That takes a lot of conversation and new muscles being built, right? Especially for researchers, as a researcher by trade and supporting a team of researchers, but also working closely with my design partners, product engineers, data scientists. A lot of the ICs have always stayed in their lane. I need to do this function, do this deliverable, and that's it. But now it's, no, you have the space and the tools that if you want to take it a step further, but they have to feel empowered. They have to know that they have that agency. Not everyone's going to do that. Some people, they get it. They're just like, this is all I've been waiting for. Thank you. I'm gone. No questions asked, no notes. I'm out of here. Let me go. Other people need that extra push. They need that space. So just ask yourself, again, how am I empowering, creating those spaces for myself, number one, and for others? This is something new. A lot of people do not think like this in the spaces that we're in because we're always in the, and I don't like to say this, the service model of serving up for our stakeholders. But now the times have changed in the sense of the strategic UX person, the strategic practitioner, now is equipped to have even stronger conversations, even larger evidence, not with just data, but now builds that they can actually show of what things can look like. Strategy comes to life. Here are just some of the tools that we are equipping our teams with. Some of them may look familiar. So Figma Make has been an unlock for a lot of people across the teams, not just in design, but for research. Our design ops team, our research ops team, any operations people in the audience? Woohoo, I see you, okay, all right. Our design, I hope you get the love and respect that you need to in the organizations that you are part of, because we are so reliant on our design operations teams because they really help us equip our researchers and our teams with the right tools to explore. We can bring them just a long laundry list, but they help navigate and vet out a lot of the tools for us and then bring it back to us to let us know capabilities, things, pros and cons, and then we're able to release our teams to go explore. It's a different mindset. It's a different shift of understanding how you equip and empower your teams to do the user experience work. Of course, Copilot, Lovable has been great. And then again, researchers, people are able to just take ideas, take recommendations, take insights very quickly and shape them into what could be. And that is giving people a new sense of how can I be adjacent, how can I collab with these AI tools in new effective ways and not feel like these things are going to do everything for me or take everything from me. It is a true partnership and understanding in how you can leverage these tools to get further in conversations, in strategy talks, and how we are bringing user experiences to life. So let's talk about the science of user experience and how that's changing with all the landscape. So in the application, now we're starting to look at how user experience actually informs the entire system, including the algorithm. Not just the pixels, not just what's being designed by the designers, but really spending time with our engineers to really say, this is where these insights have to come into play. There's a lot of automation happening to look at benchmarking, to measure quality of outputs of AI, but we are seeing, and we have seen across industries, that it is missing a lot. There's still bias, as we know. And that human element of stepping in to say, no, this is what we need, this is the nuance, this is the bias here, is still required. And so what has been absolutely transformable, it's a lot of transformation happening. Words are hard this morning, I didn't have coffee. We are putting research into play throughout the entire process, of course, but really sitting along engineering as well to help inform evals. How the insights now are being leveraged to make sure these automated evals are actually doing what they're supposed to do, that the quality is there. This is a new unlock for partnerships that we're seeing. And being able to come with the evidence, come with the data, come with these insights with our partners in a new way has really transformed, like I said, relationships and conversations. No more is it just, okay, research, go do this thing, tell us what we need, and come back, that service model. It's truly a partnership. And so being radical in this UX now is having a little bit more, a little bit more swag when we walk into the room, okay? Oh, no, we have the data that I know what you have, I know the automation and all the stuff but we have the right stuff. And so being able to muster up that type of conversation and, confidence where you're not just taking the orders and no, you can stand up and say, no, we've done the research here, we've got years of data here, we've got insights, we've got member conversations that we can apply to this. And again, we're using AI tools to make sure that we're, looking at large data sets ourselves to make sure that we're having the right story that we're able to apply to these evals. Anyone else doing research, adding research evals to engineering work? A little bit? Okay. And then anything that I'm talking about today, I'm here the whole conference, so happy to discuss more with everyone. All right, so the art, science, and now the business of UX. We cannot forget about, the business of UX. The little lines that a lot of our companies are watching and making sure that it's going up over time. UX plays a part in that. So how is the business being changed, being shifted in this world that we're in now? So now more than ever, because with all the different AI applications and experiences users are having across multiple platforms, multiple products and features, the business of personalization is at a new level. Because a lot of companies are doing a lot of the same things, but not everyone's doing it right. Not everyone has the safety measures, the transparency, the explainability. And users are now, of course, getting frustrated with mediocrity in their experience and can quickly jump to the next platform, the next product in a minute. If you're not getting it right quickly and you're not getting it right safely, your users are gone. They're not hanging around much anymore because they have a lot of options now. So the business of personalization becomes really key. And so what research has been able to do in this now is really talk about how members, customers, people really are expecting systems to respond to them, even in the AI space. You have all my data, you have all my information, and you still can't get it right? You still can't make the right recommendation? You literally have everything. And even though I've turned tracking off, I know you're tracking me, and you're still not getting the relevancy right? What is really happening? So the level of expectation is grown, and we are definitely seeing the impact of UX when it comes to these areas. Again, retention, customer retention is major. Like I said, users can jump ship now because they have options. So how are you building and creating even stronger experiences that are really going to keep people engaged in what you're building? What we've started to make the turn in a lot of our experiences is making sure that our stakeholders understand the importance of emotional jobs to be done. Is anyone using jobs to be done framework in their work? Okay. So a lot of companies, and even when we first launched Jobs to be Done several years ago, we really anchored on the tactical jobs to be done, right? The functional jobs to be done. Those are usually the easiest to build for. You know exactly what your users want to do. But now what we're seeing in the state of AI and all the tools, it's the emotional jobs to be done. that people are looking for? How is this thing really making me feel? How am I really going through the system and if I complete the task, great, but is it such a hassle that I don't want to do it again? I completed it, but I really don't want to do it again. So really tapping into the emotional jobs to be done to build that retention. Of course, revenue. Over the years, in measuring UX, we've been able to tie the effects of revenue. And revenue is a really interesting number because we've looked at ways where UX has actually saved the company by not building something, and then how it has helped the company by building the right thing as well. And this is critical in this time, again, with personalization and making sure your UX experiences are really driving these impact portions, retention, revenue, and then overall brand perception. We are getting even more bullish about the importance of leading with trust in this day of AI, of leading with integrity, and making sure that members and customers feel safe. These are the critical points that we have to go in. Now, as UX practitioners, I know probably, preaching to the choir here about the importance of safety and trust and words are hard, I'm telling you. And just making sure that you are being, oh my gosh, I lost words today. Just being clear in what you are showing to your users. But now it is about true brand perception and how that connects with how users are feeling with how they're using the systems. Do I really trust this system? Can I really leverage my information in the right way? Is this company really leveraging my information in the right way? And a lot of that is UX. We have to have these hard and straight conversations with our stakeholders. It takes the courage of people to be able to state what really needs to happen. We know that there's the line to track. We know that there's bottom lines. But it does take someone, people, a community, to be able to speak the truth, state the facts and the data of what people really need. And trust comes up over and over and over and over again. And we cannot sidestep the rigor. We cannot sidestep the humanity that's important in the work that we do. Even in how fast and rapid everything is coming, we have to be able to ground all this work, all of this, the retention, the revenue, the brand reputation, in the central aspect of understanding that we are still building for humans. What's going to really tip the scale in a lot of work that everyone is doing is understanding the differentiation that you are doing in the work. Again, a lot of people have a lot of AI tools, a lot of AI experiences, but ask yourself, how are we differentiating ourselves in a way that makes us stand out, that's brand new, that's radical, in a way that people are going to say, this is what I've been wanting. This is the thing. This is stand out from the crowd. This is what people want. It's very murky right now in the fields of the products and experiences. And what we're knowing, what we see across industry now, is people want differentiating. A couple of slides here. Does anyone know Dr. Fei Li? Absolutely incredible. If you don't, she's got a couple of TED Talks. They call her the godmother of AI. She's been a pioneer. She's a computer scientist at Stanford. And one of the most human-centered AI specialists that you will hear from. There's many, but she is really at the forefront. We were at a conference with her earlier this year, and this quote has just stood out over and over as we talk to our teams. No matter how powerful AI is, our job, our work, is to use the tool to lift and ensure the dignity of people, not to take it away. And it being the dignity of people. People still want to be able to feel like they have agency and they have active responsibility, and they still have, even if AI does the simple things or the hard tasks, they still need something there. And we have a responsibility to constantly challenge when the dignity is not there. When things are being taken away from people, we have the opportunity to speak to those experiences, the people who are trying to bring those experiences, and challenge that. It's, in some cases going against the grain, but it's going against the grain with data and insights and facts. But really internalizing this, and no matter how powerful it is, and we know that AI is going to continue to be powerful, there is the human element that we cannot and should not take human dignity away. So I leave you with this. Again, I'm not a singer, but my girl Lauryn Hill is. This is not a question. It is literally ready or not. How are you getting ready? How are you getting your teams ready? How are you making sure that you're equipped to keep doing, keep challenging, keep shifting our own industry in the most radical way? We have to keep reimagining what we can do. Now, I'll say this. It's important, again, and I think I mentioned this, there are some fundamentals that are not going to change. There's some rigor and canon and principles that should not change. But we need to evolve, understand, expand how our practice is showing up in these AI spaces. So, remembering radical UX, keep changing, keep making even bigger, greater effects on what you're doing, but also remembering that it's not just radical UX, it is radical HX. I love making sure people understand it's the human experience. As a human-computer interaction HCI graduate, I'm just like, can we just bring the human back part? The user it's not capturing the true essence of reminding people that we are building for humans. So the next talk will probably be radical HX and not radical UX. Connect with me on LinkedIn, of course. We can continue these conversations throughout the 3 days. One thing I've loved about this conference, I was here 3 years ago, and I am still connected to so many people I see here today. And the conversations keep going on a global level. Being able to provide the America, Silicon Valley perspective, hear about what's coming out from other countries, this community is so indeed powerful. Enjoy the rest of the conference. I look forward to seeing each and every one of you. Keep the energy going, and let's have an amazing, amazing conference. Thank you all so much.